Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bucknuts One-on-One, another edition here. We have a very special guest in linebacker Ricky DeBerry, as well as his father, Rick DeBerry Sr. Guys, thanks for coming on today.
No problem. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. So we'll start with little Ricky here. He's a top 60 prospect in the 24/7 composite, the number 4 outside linebacker in the country. Ricky, obviously, I'm looking at your offer list right now. You have over 50 offers. What is it like to be such a highly recruited prospect at just 16, 17 years old? You're just a junior, not even, entering your senior year yet. How does that feel to get such attention from some of the top programs in the country?
Well, I just feel very blessed and very fortunate with the opportunity God has given me. I'm definitely trying to take full advantage of it, getting a free education and obtaining a degree in college. And, I just feel like I just want to do something with my life. And right now I know football is definitely one of the ways I want to do that. So I'm just trying to pursue my dream of becoming a Division I athlete. And then wherever God takes me from there is what I'll do.
Tell us a little bit about, some of the schools that have offered recently and what schools right now are, recruiting you the hardest? My
most recent offer was Louisville. And I think, a lot of schools are recruiting me hard, but I feel like, the in-state schools such as Virginia Tech, ODU, UVA, I feel like they're definitely recruiting me the hardest to try and definitely keep me in-state. Me being a top in-state player, I know they want to definitely keep me in-state and help one of their teams out. So I feel like they will be recruiting me the hardest more than anybody.
Yeah, obviously from Richmond, Virginia, St. Christopher's School, those schools definitely make a lot of sense for you. But a lot of national programs are recruiting you as well, and one of those are the Ohio State Buckeyes. I know Zach Smith was your original recruiter handling, the D.C., Virginia, Maryland area, but now Larry Johnson, who you're very familiar with, has come from Penn State to Ohio State. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Ohio State, both Coach Smith and Coach Johnson, and what you're, looking forward to in terms of building that relationship further with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I have a great relationship with Coach Smith and Coach Johnson. I know Coach Johnson since he was back at Penn State, and I camped at Penn State while he was there twice. And ever since then, me and him had a great relationship. My mom loves him for sure. And ever since the Penn State came in, him just talked almost all the time. And, he's definitely helped me out with my game a lot. He gives me a lot of tips and points that I even try to use in my game now. And as far as Coach Smith, he's just a very cool guy. I try to talk to him as much as I can. And he's just, a funny guy, real players coach, and that's the type of coach that I like. So I enjoy talking to both of them, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them soon at Ohio State when I visit.
Speaking of that visit, I know you were supposed to go a couple weeks back, but Coach Urban Meyer was away. I think he was on vacation with his family, so you guys decided to reschedule, which obviously makes sense. Have you decided on a date moving forward on when you're going to get to Columbus?
Not sure yet, but we're definitely working on it because that's definitely one of the spots we want to go to for sure.
And what are some of the things you're looking most forward to when you get on that visit to Columbus sometime this spring or summer?
Just to get a chance to, build a relationship with the coaches, see the facilities, and definitely just see where they want me to play if I was to go to Ohio State, see how they see me. Because I know Ohio State has produced a lot of big-time linebackers in the past, and, I definitely look at Ryan Shazier and Curtis Grant these last couple of years, because Curtis Grant's a Richmond guy, so I think guys when they play and see how I could fit into their scheme, and I definitely want to get up there and see how everything goes.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Curtis Grant. He's obviously a little bit older than you, 4 years older than you. Spoken with him at all, and what does it mean to you, the fact that there's a Richmond guy at Ohio State that's going to be a multi-year starter for the Buckeyes?
I've talked to him a couple of times. He loves it up there. He's definitely gotten bigger since he left Hermitage, but he speaks very highly of the program, and he wants me to help me with adjusting with the program and all. So I think he's definitely going to be a definite contributor to the defense this upcoming season, and definitely can't wait to visit so I can talk to him as well.
As far as the position goes, I believe Ohio State's recruiting you as an outside linebacker. Some people, they think you're so big already. When you hit a college weight program, you're going to grow into maybe, a weak side defensive end. What are the Buckeyes telling you about the position they're recruiting you for?
They're recruiting me as a linebacker. I've talked to the coach, and they like big linebackers who can move. And I feel like that fits me perfectly. And I definitely want to get a chance to talk to the outside linebackers coach, because I love to pass rush. And I'm see if they can see what they talk about pass rush, because that's something I love to do. And I feel like that's one of my specialties with being with size and speed. So I want to get a chance to talk to him about possibly doing that as well.
Yeah, big linebackers who can move sideline to sideline and rush the passer are certainly in high demand, especially at Ohio State. And we're here, Bucknuts one-on-one, with four-star linebacker Ricky DeBerry as well as his father, Rick. And Ricky, real quick, where, your Ohio State visit's going to be set sometime in the near future, but what other visits do you have coming up?
Right now I have Ole Miss and Mississippi State lined up for over my spring break. And over that course of the break, I might take a trip to Tennessee and possibly Alabama as well. So definitely looking forward to those trips in Virginia Tech on April 5th.
And besides those schools, are there any other schools that, obviously you don't have a visit booked yet, but that you'd like to go out and see sometime this spring or summer?
Definitely Michigan State. I'm trying to get back to UVA. I'm going to UVA this weekend. I'm definitely trying to get to Auburn and Miami and some West Coast schools as well.
As far as the decision goes, what are you looking at in terms of trying to make your college decision?
I know it's definitely going to be my senior, towards the end of my senior year, because I want to make sure that everybody who's helped me out in my life and helped me through this process is there, because I want to give everybody their fair share of being there when I make my decision, because everybody that's been a part of my life will be a part of my decision. So I definitely going to do it at the end so I know it's the right decision for me and my family. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it at the Army game or if I'm going to do it at home. I haven't really decided yet, but I know it's going to be one of the two probably.
So you committed to the Army game. You're going to play in the U.S. Army Bowl then?
Yes, sir.
A lot of good players have come through there, so that's a good choice. And 24/7 Sports is obviously the immediate partner there, so we'll see you down there. And, kind of last thing about your recruiting, as far as, some of the factors that are going to go into that decision, what do you think, what are you looking for as a prospect in terms of, what's most important to me when I'm picking a school?
First and foremost, academics. I want to be a man longer than I'm going to be a football player. So I feel academics is definitely a major to that. The coaching staff, my relationship with the coach and the guy I'm going to be playing for, I want to play for definitely a fast defense, a defense that likes to get out the ball, not a defense that can sit back and wait. Also, a game day atmosphere, how the game day atmosphere, if it's, a game where the stadium is sold out every weekend, and or is it a game that barely has anybody there? Alumni support, alumni who come back and help with the team and, serve money back to the team, and just, a great a great place to play football and great football tradition is where I want to go.
You got a lot of choices when it comes to those factors. So we wish you the best of luck on the decision. And before we let you go, just tell us, what's your current height and weight, and what's your latest 40-yard dash time?
Right now, I am 6'1.5", and a 245. I'm 6'2.5", excuse me.
And have you run the 40-yard dash recently?
I haven't ran one recently, but the last one I ran was a 4.6.
Thanks, Ricky. We appreciate the time. Now we're going to move on to the boss in the DeBerry house. We got Rick DeBerry Sr. Rick, thanks for joining us today.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good, thanks. We appreciate you coming on. Now, we just heard from your son. Obviously, he has over 50 Division I college offers. That's got to be, pretty humbling. And as his father, how does that feel? I'm sure you're very proud of your son.
Yes, me and my wife, we are very excited about, his situation. Our biggest thing right now is trying to keep him, humble, which is not hard, because Ricky really doesn't even talk about this most of the time. We try to keep him focused on his academics, which is very important to us, because as you heard him say, he's going to be a man longer than he's going to be a football player. So, I myself played football in college, and like I always tell him, this time will come and go, and you're still going to have to be able to take care of yourself and hopefully one day your family. So you want to focus on your academics, which is more important.
Definitely agree with all that. And where did you play college football? I
played at a school in Richmond, Virginia, Virginia Union. At that time, we were, one of the U powerhouses in the country. So we, I played outside linebacker and defensive end myself.
Yeah, so I'm sure you've handed down many tips to your son in the process, yet at the same time, the schools he's recruited, no offense to Virginia Union, but some of the schools he's being recruited for, obviously at a lot higher level than you were going through when you had the process. So what has it been like for you to kind of go through this process at this type of level for the first time with your son?
It's been exciting for me. when I was coming through, we would see a lot of these schools, myself on TV, and I would always try to help him with, understanding the tradition of each school as the offers would come in. And so he would understand exactly who's recruiting him, because a lot of kids his age, a lot of times really don't even understand schools that they're being recruited to. They just, only thing they know about the schools now, who's the powerhouse and who's up and coming, but they don't understand the past history of a lot of these schools, and the importance of the existence. So those are the things that we sit back with Ricky and try to get him to understand.
It's a lot to take in at once, especially, let alone for you and your wife, but for a 16, 17-year-old kid. So definitely good that you've been giving him guidance and you've been there kind of for him to lean on. As far as schools go, has there been any schools that have stood out to you, any coaches maybe from different programs that have stood out to you early on in this process?
Quite a few of them. As Ricky told you, Coach Johnson from Penn State has been one of the coaches that I tell you, my wife and I really respect a lot and really respect his professionalism and as well as his knowledge base in regards to the position that Ricky is playing. We've had a lot of talks with him. Matter of fact, we last seen him, I think, when we went to the Penn State and Nebraska game was the last time we actually, I've had a chance to speak with him myself. And there's, been some other coaches. We met Bob Stoops from Oklahoma. We've met Butch Jones from Tennessee, Steve Spurrier of South Carolina, Mike London at UVA, of course, Frank Beamer, Bill Muschamp from Florida. We met quite a few coaches and had a chance to sit down and talk with them, and that's why I said when we was on our way to Ohio State, we wanted to meet Urban Meyer, but I think he was out of town that weekend and we was going, so we are trying to reschedule that visit now.
Yeah, you mentioned, those are a lot of big names right there. You mentioned Ohio State. Coach Larry Johnson, who was at Penn State last year, is now at Ohio State. So you have Sean Johnson, you have Coach Urban Meyer. Coach Zach Smith was recruiting Ricky previously before Coach Johnson got to Ohio State. Having those types of coaches there, that certainly has to be appealing for you when it comes to Ohio State. What are you looking forward to most when you get out to Columbus?
The first thing, for me and my wife is, we always look at the community, the school, that surrounds the school. Because when you look at a lot of young men today and when they go off to schools, and you can see in some of the most recent storylines, these kids get in trouble off campus a lot more than they do on campus. And so, the surrounding areas of the school is very important to us. We also want to look at the academics, student support, athletic support, because when you go to a school such as Ohio State, it's a mega university, such as your Floridas and your Tennessees and your Oklahoma. These are mega universities, like you were just saying earlier, from where from the school I went to. So kids need a lot of support, and we've been around, to quite a few schools and have heard their spills in regards to sport and the things that they do. So we want to go and meet the coaches, because when you send your child off to school, you want to be able to make sure you put them in good hands. So we want to go and meet the coaches and see what they have to offer academically, see what type of communities are around the school. Take a look at the facilities as well, And what we've been trying to do is trying to catch some of the schools while they're in session, so we can see what the campus looks like, while school is in session. Because a lot of times during the summer, we visit schools and kids are gone, and you just only see the building standing a few people. So we really are trying to catch some of the schools in session.
Yeah, campuses are certainly a little lively, and you get a better feel and a vibe for the school when kids are there. Again, this is Bucknuts One-on-One. Ricky DeBerry and Rick DeBerry Sr. nice enough to join us today. And just a couple more questions here for you, Rick. As far as distance from home, I'm sure as parents you'd love for Ricky to stay close to home with you in Virginia, but is that a factor for you guys in this recruitment, and or is he kind of like able, in a lot of national programs, are you kind of letting him make that decision on whether he wants to go away from home or not?
We're actually letting him make that decision. We want him to grow up. I think holding him near home, kids have a tendency to find themselves back home on the weekend. But we want him to grow up. His older sister just graduated from Purdue with a degree in electrical engineering, and that was a distance for us to travel back and forth to go to Purdue. It really is not. We're not putting a fence around him in regards to this. We just want to make sure that the setting is right, and what he wants to major in, things of that nature, is right before we turn him loose.
Yeah, you definitely have to trust, the coaching staff of where he's going, if he's going away from home, and the academic support and things like that. It seems like a lot of kids these days are starting to realize if you want to get to the next level in the NFL that, you're going to have to play across the country in all sorts of different environments and things like that. So it's good to see that you guys are supporting that decision. And finally, last thing here, we heard from Ricky what his kind of factors in the school of his choice are, and I'm sure this will be his decision, but at the same time it will kind of be a family decision, as he mentioned. What are some of the things that you're going to be looking for? I know you mentioned, Ohio State academic support and the campus and things like that. What are the most important, maybe 2 or 3 things you want to see in the school of his choice?
As far as me and my wife are concerned, like I said, one of the major things for us is the community where the school will be setting. Number 2, the distance is not going to play a major factor for us. Wherever he goes, we're going to come and visit him. I think academics is definitely going to be a major factor for him, for us as well. Then the stability of the coaching staff. Right now it looks like a Reagan Airport, coaches flying, going and coming. It's like planes. I mean, you don't know what coach is going to be there. One day, when we went to Penn State, we were just sitting there talking to Bill O'Brien and all of them, and next thing you know, everybody's gone. You want to look for stability in the coaching staff. The other thing is we sit around and we read just as much as I think as the coaches read about him. We do a lot of research ourselves on them. We go online and we go on YouTube. We kind of look at the coaching styles. We go online to see who they're recruiting, who they brought in the year before, who has already committed to the school, especially within his position. So we can kind of get a feel of, if he's going to be redshirted, if he's going to have an opportunity in playing versus what they tell you. I think the biggest other thing is what happens after graduation, the alumni support and things of that nature. So a lot of different factors that's going to play into it.
Okay, that's a pretty well-rounded response. Again, Bucknuts 101. This is Alex Gleitman from Bucknuts.com, 24/7 Sports. Thank you again, both Rick DeBerry Sr. and Ricky DeBerry Jr., for your time tonight. Best of luck in your decision. I'm sure we'll see you soon when we get you to some camps or out to a visit in Columbus sometime in the near future. Have a great night.
All right, you do the same.
Thank you. You too.